to the Building Your Brand podcast, and I'm back with another solo episode, and we are into week 2 of 2 episodes going out a week, which is very exciting, and I'm hoping that you are enjoying this extra podcast episode. So obviously these ones are shorter and solo episodes, and today I wanted to do a bit of a pet talk for small business owners. And the reason that I wanted to do that is, I don't know, I feel like the vibes are a bit off for small business owners this year. 2025 has been a weird year, and obviously not everybody is finding it hard and not everybody is struggling, but a lot of people I've spoken to are. And so I wanted to encourage you. I wanted to share some of the things that are motivating me and keeping me going at the moment in the hopes that they will help you as well. So I've got my notes written on the back of a HMRC envelope of some of the things that I wanted to share. And yeah, let's go through them. And I really hope some of these resonate. And yeah, if there's anything in particular that has been encouraging you and helping you, I'd love to hear it as well. I definitely want this to be a podcast that empowers and lifts up small business owners and encourages them. So I really hope you feel that after listening. So my first thing that I wanted to share, and this isn't necessarily like a fun thing, but I do think that often as creatives, as business owners, when we are under pressure, when things feel a little bit difficult, that is often when the really creative ideas come. I think we do need safety. There needs to be an element of safety to sort of have that freedom to create and experiment. But also sometimes we do need a bit of pressure to like push us to innovate. I think pressure often pushes innovation. So, whether that is a deadline, needing to make a certain amount of money, needing to pivot your business in a particular way, I think sometimes amazing things can happen out of that pressure. And it doesn't always feel good at the time, but I do think it can take you in a really interesting and exciting direction. So I think, if you are a small business owner, then you are a problem solver, you are a creative, you are someone who is going to find a solution that is going to help you and help other people. And so I do think that if you're finding 2025 particularly tough, if this has been a difficult year for you, maybe that pressure is going to lead you in a really interesting direction in your business. And I think sometimes we just need to be reminded of that. That things being hard in your business for a season, for a year, maybe it's been longer, doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong or that you're not doing the right thing. Sometimes that is the catalyst for incredible things to happen and changes to be made. So I would really encourage you to have a think about that and to lean into that potentially. Where can you pivot? Where can you try new things? Where can you sort of push your business forward in a way that you might not have done in the past? I think the next thing that I really want to encourage you about is how, as a small business owner, you can be really agile and you can adjust your business and you can pivot really, really quickly in a way that massive businesses just really can't. And I do think that that is one of the absolute superpowers of a small business, is that ability to be able to make a decision and implement it really, really quickly without having to sort of spend months running it past a board or getting senior leadership to approve an idea. Like, you are the senior leadership. You get to approve that idea straight away. And I feel so inspired when I see small business owners, coming up with an idea and then implementing it and trying it within a week. I mean, it doesn't have to be a week. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's longer. But one of the phrases that has been really inspiring me recently has been this concept of failing faster. And I think that is something that as small business owners, we can really lean into. We can experiment, we can try things, we can learn lessons really, really quickly because of that agility and that sort of ability that we have to adjust and adapt to, whatever's going on, the climate around us, the difficulties that we might be experiencing, or even when things are going well, sometimes it's just a case of we want to try something new, we want to see if something's going to work. You can do that quickly. So that is really cool. I think if you think about like really, really huge corporations, obviously they have a lot more money coming in and, they can like use that money to do big things, but it's like a huge ship that takes a really, really long time to turn around. and to make significant changes, because there's just so many people involved and so many people that they have to like take along with them in that change. So that is the next thing that I wanted to share. I think thirdly, you have something really unique to sell, something really unique to offer, because it is yours, like your creativity, your personality, like the way you deliver whatever it is that you're offering, whether that is a product or whether that's a service. It's just going to be so different from how anybody else is doing it. And I think sometimes we look around at what everybody else is doing and think we need to, I guess, like assimilate a bit, be more like everybody else. And I think we really need to embrace leaning into who we are and like our unique elements. And I've been doing quite a bit of work on this recently. I think it is really important to take time to think about it, because I think if we just are consuming content from other businesses, especially if it's other businesses in our space all of the time, we almost like subconsciously just try and fit into the mold. But if we're quite intentional about spending that time thinking about, okay, what are the things that differentiate us? What are the things that make us as individuals, as people, unique? And when I say unique, obviously everybody's unique, but also no sort of particular aspect of someone is unique as well. Like, I'm not saying that you have to pretend to be someone that you're not, to be really out there. I'm just saying, what are those aspects of your personality, of how you run your business, of your values that you can really lean into to make you stand out from other people? And also it just comes back to good branding, to draw in the right clients that you want to work with and to basically put off the people that you don't want to work with. So lean into your uniqueness more. As a small business owner, again, it's so much easier for you to show that uniqueness as a small business, over a huge company that really has to work a lot harder to show any sort of personality, and show their values. It's just a harder thing to communicate when you are a business of hundreds of thousands of people. Next up, and I do want to do an episode just about this, because I think it's sort of a hot topic at the moment. But I think, again, you can really lean into your humanity. And this ties into my previous point about uniqueness. But how can you show that real human side to you? I think with the way that everything is going with AI, trust is being broken down a bit with some businesses where, consumers will look at that business and they can't totally tell if something is real or if it's fake. Is it AI? And I think if you can take this opportunity to lean into yourself and your business as flawed, not perfect, sometimes messy, sometimes chaotic, but really, really human. And you can share those aspects of being human that are relatable to others. I think that is going to serve you really, really well. And again, so much easier for you to do as maybe a one-person business or a small team. You can really let people get to see glimpses of that humanity. And I just think that is really what the world needs right now. I think we're sick of seeing slickness and professionalism and perfection. I mean, not that anything's perfect, but I think we're a bit over that. I think we want to see personality. We want to see the slightly more messy reality behind what goes in to running a business, to being a creative, to selling offers. You'll hear a lot of people talking at the moment about building in real time and sharing that with people. And I do think, there's something in that. I'm not saying everybody has to do that, and I'm not saying that that's the only way to success. But I do think people are really craving that connection and that sort of behind the scenes look into how a business is run. And again, I mean, this is getting a bit repetitive now, but so much easier for you to show that as a small business owner than a huge corporation ever could. So lean into that humanity, show the human side of your business, and don't worry about everything being perfect. Let this be your permission slip to show up exactly as you are and work things out as you go along, because that's relatable and that people want to see that. And that's not to say that you have to be really, really vulnerable, air all your dirty laundry, tell everybody every thought that's going on in your head. Like, no, be intentional about it and be selective about it. But maybe just, think about that a bit more, like how you can show that side and give yourself permission to show that side as well. And I think the other thing that I really wanted to share and encourage you with is like, you as a small business owner can really make such a positive impact in the world. Like, I know it's hard to imagine that as an individual or as a small team. Like, where is that impact going to come? But with the way that that social media is set up and how we market ourselves, like, there's so much potential. And I think spending a bit of time getting back to that core vision of the impact that you want to have on the world can be really, really helpful. And again, the buzzword for me in this episode is going to be intentionality. Spend a bit of time thinking about that. How can you communicate the positive impact that you want to have in the world? Remind yourself of who it is that you're trying to help and how you are trying to help them with, whether it's the products you're selling or the services that you're offering, and lean into that even more. Like, remember that you can have a really, really positive impact on the world through what it is that you have chosen to do, the business that you've chosen to set up. And I just feel really excited about that. Like, I feel excited about that for creatives, for small business owners. I just feel like there's just so much potential for small business owners to change the world. And there's crazy stats out there, and I haven't got them in front of me, but there's crazy stats about how much small businesses impact the economy in the UK, for example. And I know it'll be the same for other countries as well. There really is an important place for us in this world of, I guess, capitalism, entrepreneurship, all of these different things. We get to choose if we want to have a positive impact or not. And I really believe that we have that power. We have that ability to have a really positive impact. And okay, maybe completely changing people's lives is dramatic and over the top, but having a really positive impact on people's lives. And I want to encourage you that you can do that. I think sometimes as small business owners, we get so lost in the sort of weeds of day-to-day jobs, keeping on top of our inboxes, making sure that we get our client work done in time, making sure that we've shipped all the the orders that we've had in our shop. There's just so much busy work that needs to be done to keep a business ticking over and to keep it running. But I do really think that it's helpful to just take a step back every now and then and remind yourself, why did you start your business? Who were you trying to help? Remember that impact that you have had on other people. And I would really encourage you, I've definitely talked about this on the podcast before, but I would really encourage you to create a folder or, a folder on your phone with screenshots where people have sent you messages to say thank you for the impact that you've had. So whether it's, you shared a bit of content that really helped someone, or, a client is getting more sales because of the work that you did for them, create that folder and keep reminding yourself of the positive impact that you are having. And honestly, I've seen it with this podcast. I am so grateful every time a small business owner messages me and says, thank you so much for the podcast. It's really helped me. Oh my goodness, that is the reminder that I need for why I do this, why I do what I do. And it encourages me so much. And I keep all of those screenshots and I keep all of those emails in a folder so that I can go back and be reminded of the positive impact that I'm having. And I guess the potential of the positive impact, that I could have in the future as well. So yeah, just a bit of a pep talk today. Keep going. You're doing amazing things. I know that for a lot of people, this year has felt really, really hard. And, for some people, it'll be right to step out of the entrepreneur life and get a job or, go down a different path. absolutely no judgment. It is not for everybody. But for some of you, I hope this will be the encouragement that you need to hear to keep going, to get through this like difficult period, and to be reminded, there are people out there who are making money, who are doing well, like it is possible. And sometimes we just need to keep going. And it is really normal that there are ups and downs. It's not always going to be up in the, entrepreneur, self-employed small business life. And I've talked to people, with a sort of like mix of how they're getting on right now. So for some people things are going really well, for some people things aren't. Like it's not necessarily consistent across the board, but on the whole my vibe has definitely been that people have been finding this year tough. So if that is you, know that you're not alone. Other people are struggling too, and I hope this has given you a little bit of a boost. And if you want to chat about it more, if you've got an encouragement that you want to share, I'd love to hear it. You can come and find me at Liz M. Mosley or at Building Your Brand Podcast on Instagram. And I always love to carry on the conversation after these episodes.